All right, guys, we're going to do Transformers issue 6 from Image Skybound, Daniel Warren Johnsons, and Mike Spicer. This is an all action book. I don't know, I'm way behind. I believe I have only till 13 here lying around, and I'm missing one book, so that's always a problem. It's been a while, but if you want to check it out, you know my other reviews, you can find it on my channel, right? And subscribe if you haven't done so. Like my videos and leave a comment would be nice. Good for the algorithm. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive in. The Autobots are in deep trouble because Devastator is here and he's basically hunt and wants to destroy Autobots here and this part of the, I believe, in the side of the arc here. But then Carly comes in, and I believe she is Spike's girlfriend, and Spike's is in the hospital. And then she's turning the wheel. And so Cliffjumper said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "We can't fight this thing head on. We need more firepower." But then she said, basically, and she's more like a very small side character, but she gives some momentum here. She says, "We're small, not the strongest, not the most powerful. We need to use our heads. It's the only thing that keeps us alive." So, all right, says Cliff, should be an access point in the middle of the ship. So, and then basically they are going together. Now, I was wondering that, always thought that Cliffjumper was bigger, but he's basically maybe even smaller than Bumblebee. I'm not sure if that's canon or something, but I like Daniel Warren's art a lot, but there is also things that I don't like that I'm going to point out a little bit later here in the book. Anyway, I'm not sure why Starscream is doing this. He's not in a metal concert. But so Optimus comes in and kicks him in his face, right? And he's protecting Sparky here, and the father of, Sparky, I guess. They call him both called Sparky, I guess. Spike, I mean. Anyway, so then Devastator grabs Optimus, and he's doing this. Now his art is very kinetic. I like that a lot. But on the other hand, his art is also very fluid. So it turns really into the cartoony style of things, which I don't mind. But since I have a vision that Autobots look just like Autobots, like robots, like metal, they cannot bend, and they are not made of rubber, if you know what I mean. But it's somehow that is his style, and it works. And I'm really glad that he's on board because I really like his art. But there's something, when it comes to not only looks, but proportions. I believe that is the better word. I'm going to tell you that a little bit later. Anyway, lots of sound effects. And so they are going into the arc, and Ratchet cannot get away quick enough. And he's grabbed by the leg, right? And there's a door here. And he says, "Hang on, buddy, just close it. And his leg has been ripped off. So, but then I thought, maybe his arm is now also gone, but it seems that he's just pulled away just in time. But Devastator is just a mindless brute, right? So, what is this, Soundwave, I guess? My interior scans show the side of the mountain has considerably less rock formation between us and the arc. So, all right, so they're going to dig there to get into the arc, I guess. Meanwhile, we have Cliffjumper here defending Carly, right? And he says, "What's this now? A little Autobot and his little human? You killed my dad." What is a dad, he says. So this is what I mean with proportions, right? I mean, I can remember that in previous issues, Starscream was way bigger than the normal human. And it seems that he's been shrunken, I guess, because of the proportion thing that I talked about. What I do like, that's the other side. If you look at this panel specifically, I mean, imagine if you are living in an apartment, you have this, this eye, thing that you can look through the door. It has this, I'm not sure if this is the right word, bird's eye view when things are a little bit deforming. As you can see, it goes from here to there. I really like this. This is a very cool panel. Still, I don't like that Cliffjumper is small. I remember him being bigger. Not only that, now look at this weapon, right? and then Carly. I'm gonna in the next couple of pages, I'm gonna show you what I mean with that. So okay, so there's gonna be a fight, lots of fighting. Meanwhile, we have Optimus who's basically dying here because the damage is too severe, and Devastator is trying to get into the Ark, and he says, "My friends, I'm sorry. I thought we still had hope. It's why I led us here away from Cybertron to find another way. I see now Jetfire was right." So he opens up his chest and he says that he's dying, and then he, well, throws away the spark, I guess. So I always wonder what the spark actually is. You know, is it just a power source, or what is it exactly? So, and then Sparky says, "If there was only a way. My men, Jimmy and Spike, whenever something bad happened to them, I always think, if only I could take in their place, if only it was me instead of them." So he is approaching the spark. Maybe now it's my chance. So I know you're going to care for this world like I care for my boys. And then he's just dipping his hands in this spark. I mean, is it made of fluid? How does it work? I didn't know that. So he is just dive in. He says, "Watch them over for me. And when Spike awakes or wakes, tell my son I'm proud of him." So he's going into the spark, and that revives and repairs Optimus Prime. "You will not be forgotten, Sparky, and I promise I will protect your son." So he is whole again. But what happened then to Sparky? Is he just disintegrated? Is his life force being sucked into the Matrix? Is this a portal to another dimension? How does it work? I mean, I believe he's dead now, right? Because maybe his life force is now added to the spark. You know, life spark, giving life back to Optimus? I don't know. Maybe I should ask those questions. Anyway, Optimus is grabbing the hand of Devastator, rips off his finger, and Devastator is screaming. Like I said, this art is very kinetic. There's a lot of going on, right? This is an all-action book. Love it. And he's opening fire on this guy, right? And also kicks him in the face real fast. And then, meanwhile, we have Carly and Cliff here, Cliff Jumper. And she's, you know, using the gun of Cliff Jumper to shoot Starscream, which looks great. But then, again, look at the proportion. Look how big this thing is, right? So when I go a couple of pages back, and this is what I mean, the proportion is way off. I mean, if you put this gun next to her here on the ground, it's probably, you know, maybe as small as my finger, you know, the top of my finger, a little bit smaller. But here, it looks like it's, you know, it's grown in size, like it's using Pham particles from, you know, Marvel Comics. Anyway, you know, that's a little bit my gripe of Daniel Warren Johnson's art. And maybe it's minor, but it's for me, it's so noticeable that I have to point it out. Anyway, so he's pointing the gun to Starscream and says, "I always wondered what this moment would feel like." But then he nopes out, right? Because he couldn't do it. He says, "He killed your entire race and my dad." Well, she's going to pay it because of your stupidity, Cliff Jumper. Because, I don't know, she's probably crippled now and breaking her legs. Dude, what have you done? Meanwhile, we're going back to the fight between Optimus and Devastator. So he's going on this cliff, I guess, no pun intended, the side of the rock. And so he's transforming back into Optimus. And then this is cool. So he's shooting at with all his might, all his power at Devastator. But Devastator keeps coming, so he's charging, right? And then somehow he ducks under him. And then, I mean, this looks cool, I have to admit. And then he is just pushing him over the edge with all his remaining power, right? And also that he's in mid-transformation, I guess. Meanwhile, we have Starscream still crushing the lower side of Carly, right? But then, I mean, I didn't see this coming, and that's why I like. That's what I like about the creativity of Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. Holy shit! This looks amazing. Yes, this is all because there's all these speed lines, and it's all breaking parts of, and a lot of debris and metal creaking and broken. And she's lucky, right? She's probably normally she would be dead, but yeah, this looks good. This looks really good. I thought, oh wow, I had to take a moment to look up all the. I'm a detail guy, as you probably I like details, I like backgrounds. I think that's important. And this looks good. Looks good. Looks really good. So props to the team. So yeah, Devastate is falling apart. Being transformed back into their 5-man team, I guess, right? And but Carly says, you had him. You could have ended it. You could have ended it all of it. So I wonder if this has repercussions. What's happened here? Anyway, so the reach of there's a word for this team, but I probably forgot. So let's say, like I said, my knowledge about the Transformers people are robots is very limited. So they are dragging, basically retreating, right? And so Optimus says to Soundwave, he says, hey, let us be done with it. Let us find a way to save our home together. But then Soundwave's trying to attack him. He says, hey, make no mistake, I desire peace, but I am no fool. And they all fly away. Yeah, and then it's over for now. Until next time, Decepticon. And then we go to Spike, and he says, where's my dad? Well, he's gone. Yeah, and that leads to the next issue. So, overall, I really like what Skybound Image is doing with all of these franchises, with G.I. Joe, with Duke. Void Rival is another one. I just read the trade paperback that you saw in my unboxing. It is good. It is good. I'm maybe not a big fan of the art in general. It's not that bad, but my expectations are mostly a little different when it comes to art. But it is good. I have to admit it. It is good. And it leads us to the next issue, guys. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Also, check this out. I have a Dual Power Bomb. This is also a comic of him about wrestling. And this is another banger. I did a review about it completely. Check it out. It is good. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And I'll see you next time.